back to me from Women in Business to Back to Business. All right, moving on. Are we ready for the next ISF talk? Thank you. All right, up next we have Dr. Anand Agarwal, HOD CTVS Center, Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research. We request you to please come up on the stage and ignite us with your ISF talk. And I think you gave us a standing ovation. Now you can do a round of applause.
Since my return from UK in 2009,
Dr. Anand Agarwal.
I'm increasingly operating on patients younger than me in the age group of 35 to 40.
AV team,
And
can we
sometimes
start
when I
from the
operate on
beginning?
these patients, heart attacks in the young people is reaching an epidemic
Can you
proportion
restart,
nowadays.
please?
Since my return from UK in 2009, I'm increasingly operating on patients younger than me. Heart attacks in the young people is reaching an epidemic proportion nowadays. Since my return from UK in 2009, I'm increasingly operating on patients younger than me in the age group of 35 to 40. And sometimes when I operate on these patients, I don't even have a neat artery to do my bypass grafting. And I have to do what we call as endarterectomy. The prognosis of the patients in this age group who have had a heart attack requiring angioplasty or surgery is not very good. And lucky are these patients who are able to reach the doorsteps of hospitals. Many of these people are having sudden heart attack and sudden cardiac death. That young celebrities, young gymnasts and actors are dying while either exercising or performing on the stage or even while walking. What are the reasons for onset of heart disease in the young adults? It is early onset of diabetes, early onset of hypertension, and high cholesterol because of unregulated eating habits. Another important cause in modern society is unregulated sleep patterns, going to sleep very late in the night and getting up late. Our system produces a hormone called melatonin, which is a reparative hormone which eases your body and soothes the body. It is produced between 10 p.m. and midnight. So my recommendation, which is an age-old saying that early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy and wise. So this looks like a very simple remedy, but mind you friends, if you do not sleep well, your body is not getting enough rest to recuperate. And another thing, what we say is how we regulate our ahar and vihar. Ahar is not even what you take to your mouth. Whatever you are taking through your panchendriyas is ahar. So regulated eating patterns, regulated whatever you do has to be in regulation. And vihar is what? How you recreate. Early morning get up, yoga, pranayam, spending time with nature and regular exercise is very, very important. Another important cause of heart disease in the young people is people who have got a family history of heart disease. What does it mean? Any parents or first siblings who have had a heart attack at a young age, so those people are at a high risk. People are going for smoking or other sorts of hookah and other things. These people are also at a high risk. Passive smoking, and they have found an increased incidence of heart disease in the cab driver, even noise pollution and excessive intake of alcohol are also causes of heart disease. So what is the remedy for us? We have to start early, drive slowly and reach safely, as what Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba used to say. So we need to teach even our children, because the atherosclerotic process which leads to blockages in coronary artery disease starts at a very young age. So what are the symptoms that somebody is having a heart disease? Any chest pain which is above diaphragm, any pain which in the either of the arms, or even the pain radiating to the chin, it can be because of the heart disease. Do not neglect it to be because of acidity. Take prompt attention. Do not self-diagnose yourself. Visit a nearest cardiac center. Get the relevant test advised by the cardiologist and get yourself treated. But our intention is not to reach to that stage. Our intention is to modify the risk factors. If you have diabetes and hypertension, keep them under control with proper medication and lifestyle modification, so you do not reach a stage of getting a premature coronary artery disease leading to sudden heart attack in the young and sudden cardiac death. So this is my sincere request to the people to not to think that this is a mythical story that people are getting heart attack at the young age. It's a glaring reality, and we as a society need to wake up to this, because all these people who are getting heart attack at the young age, they are in a breadwinning stage. What will happen to the family? Because once you get angioplasty or cardiac surgery at a young age, mentally a person is crippled. We are seeing a lot of episodes of psychological disturbances post cardiac interventions. So I request all the corporate society leaders, even the governmental organization, to bring a culture of the health of their employees, especially the cardiac health, and do regular screening, regular programs for young people to empower themselves for prevention of heart disease in the young people. India is a young nation, and 50% of our people are less than 40 years. So if we safeguard the health of these people, we will become a stronger, healthier and a prosperous nation. Hello, good afternoon to all of you. You have heard a brief video, and Mr. Jay Chaudhary and Satyendra are not there. I want to thank them for inviting me. See, this is a testimony, more than half of the hall is empty. So the bottom line is, we are putting more emphasis on our wealth than health. So I've been given just 10 to 15 minutes time. My session normally takes an hour or so. So whoever are in the hall, I kindly request, don't take photos, nothing. Just give me your ears. Even if I am addressing 200 people, if I can make a change in your life, even 2 people, I think my coming here will be successful. So guys, heart disease is no more a disease of the elderly. How many people in this hall are less than 40? Please raise your hands. And how many are more than 50? Sir? More than 50? So let me tell you categorically, and please, my request, this is very, very important, do not neglect, because not many people are talking about prevention. Everybody is talking about treatment. So these small group of people who are above 60, sir, more or less you are insured against heart disease, because even if something happens, it will not be drastic. But people below 40, what I am observing is, they do not even give you time to reach to hospital. And when they reach to hospital also, they are in such a condition, sometimes we cannot even do anything. Can I have the next slide, please? Next slide. So, what our aim, I started this campaign way back in 2016 when my own friend died in sleep. So my idea is to educate people about occurrence of premature coronary artery disease, how we can prevent sudden cardiac death. Next slide. Next slide, please. So this was a study done in a reputed hospital in Bangalore, where they were seeing more than 5 to 6 patients admitted less than 30 years with critical coronary artery disease, either requiring angioplasty or surgery. And we are looking at traditional risk factors which I will be elucidating later, like diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol. But many of these young patients, you might think, I don't have diabetes, I don't have hypertension, I don't have cholesterol. But many of these patients who were admitted to this hospital did not fit into the classical category of what we call the risk factors for coronary artery disease. Patients, cab drivers, patients who are commuting. So these are all subtle risk factors, my friend. You might think, I am lean and slim, I don't have diabetes, I don't have hypertension, I don't have any other risk factors. You think you are immune against coronary artery disease. That is not the fact. Next slide. So this was in a reputed journal. A 19-year-old girl had a massive heart attack. Next slide. So my friend, this is your heart. It beats 1.2 lakhs times a day on its own. From the time you are in your mother's womb, heart is one of the first organ to form in the body, into the womb, into the fetus, because that's what, it is a pump which sends the blood to all the parts. From the mother's womb till we take our last breath, this is pumping 1.2 lakhs times a minute, relentlessly without anything. So don't we think we need to, give importance to it? So people say, what is the guideline given? I give a small example. This phone is produced by Samsung, isn't it? It comes with its own manufacturing user instructions. I can't throw it, I can't put it in fire, I cannot put it in water, no? Then how can we, what is the instructions for our human body? I say, our scriptures have given you how to conduct yourself. So in conducting one's body in the way it is given in different scriptures, I won't go into that, you actually safeguard your health. I'll tell you a simple thing, this topic was well advertised, half of the hall is empty. People are not bothered, sir. So what I mean to say, I'm addressing a gathering of entrepreneurs, but you will be an entrepreneur as long as you're healthy, isn't it? And let me tell you at the outset, we are all systematically abusing our body. And it's not a provocative word. That's the fact. I'll tell you again in detail a little bit more. So this heart is supplied by, I'm giving you a little education for your cardiovascular health in next 2 to 3 minutes. Our heart is supplied by those 3 coronary arteries. The left artery divides into 2 branches and the right is the right main coronary artery. So what we call as heart attack is blockages in one or more of these arteries. Mostly it's a single coronary artery which gets completely occluded and you get a heart attack. Next slide please. So this is a cross section. In 3 minutes I'm going to make you a cardiologist. This is the cross section of the artery, and what you see in the artery on the left side is a clean, pristine artery when we are born. And this atherosclerotic process, let me tell you, it starts from an early age. As early as 6 years, it started getting atherosclerotic. So that's why I say our preventive strategies have to be started at least from year 8 of school, where children will understand. Up to that time, it is the duty of the parents and teachers to at least regulate their, eating habit, their recreational habit. So this artery, when it starts getting blocked with whatever the lipids and thrombus, if it is partially blocked, you get chest pain or angina, and if it suddenly gets blocked, that is when you get a heart attack. And when a major coronary artery suddenly gets blocked, because there is a sudden stoppage of blood to a heart, it fibrillates. And if you get a prompt help, then and there, in our hospital it happens all the time. I've done a heart surgery, 1 in 100 patient will fibrillate in front of us because we are witnessing the arrest. We immediately shock the patient or intubate the patient, get revived. But most of these heart attacks happen in the community. My friends, I'm telling you, it's high time we wake up. So many gymnasts, so many people, so many VIPs, celebrities have died suddenly. So this is a glaring fact and we have to address that. Next slide. So these are the traditional risk factors. I don't have to tell, but the majority of the patient, 50% I would say, don't fit into this. Next slide please. In the IT sector, I started making videos way back in 2016. My own cousin, who was doing perpetual night shift, at the age of 33, he went home at the night from his shift, and within 1 hour he was declared dead. So perpetual night duties is not good, because as I said in my video, the sleep between 10 p.m. and 12 midnight is very, very important. And just tell me, a small question, How many of you sleep before 10 o'clock? Raise your hands, please. Fair number, I would say. I am impressed and encouraged. So, the sleep pattern has to be regulated. It is very, very important. Next slide. See, this is one of the unrecognized risk factors. Nowadays, both husband-wife working, young people with no family support. You might be thinking, why this cardiac surgeon is talking like this? But this is important. Because there is a perpetual stress in the mind when there is no peace at home. So nuclear family with no support is also one of the important cause of stress. As I mentioned in the previous two slides, that stress is a major cause and all these factors are leading up to the stress. Next slide, please. So if you look at the incidence and mortality and morbidity due to breast cancer, the cardiovascular risk factors are at least 20 times more. Next slide, please. So, what are the symptoms of heart disease? Let me tell you, any chest pain which is above diaphragm, either of the arms, it can be even a dental pain, mimicking like a dental pain or pain in the chin. It may not be a pain, you might feel a tightness or you might feel shortness of breath or some irregular heartbeat. It could be because of a heart attack. So in that case, do not self-diagnose, do not take Razo or antacid tablet. Kindly go to a nearest cardiac hospital. ECG will at least show whether the patient is having a heart attack or not. Normal ECG cannot guarantee that you do not have a block, but at least a normal ECG will tell you for sure that it is not a heart attack. So what can we do? So I only say it is lifestyle regulation. Next slide, please. We have made our website www.savetheyoungheart.com. We have a yoga, meditation, music program on that. I simply say how we regulate our ahar and vihar. What is ahar? Whatever I take it through my panchendriyas, means what goes in through my mouth is the most important, because what goes through your mouth becomes a part of your body. So to eat in a regulated fashion, I am not here to give you any diet advice or how many times to eat, but eat what your body says and eat according to what your this thing. But very simple dictum, try to eat before the sun sets. That's what our ancient used to do, because there was no electricity. They used to eat when the sunlight is there and there is a gap of 3 to 4 hours. And then morning yoga, meditation, pranayam. I am not an expert. I don't propose to educate any of these things, but it's there on our website. All of you know. All of you know what to do, but you have to do it. Next slide, please. So, our idea is to prevent the heart attacks from occurring, but whenever somebody gets a heart attack, the treatment modalities are either angioplasty or next slide, please, or bypass surgery. Bypass surgery is what I do and angioplasty is what my colleagues do. But our idea is not to reach to this stage. It has to be prevented well in advance. Okay, next slide, please. So what we have done, we can run through the slides. What we have done so far through 2017 to now, or when I was working at Mallareddy, we have organized 3-4 5K runs and all that stuff. It was type of what we have done till now is to educate people that heart disease happen at young age. You need to become aware. Next slide, please. Next. So what is next? Now what we propose is, because why I requested Jai Chaudhary Garu to give me a place here to talk. In all your companies, first of all, to become cognizant yourself that I am at a risk, I need to take care of my body. What next? So now we need to screen the people. We have devised a simple 15-question tool on our website. It is taken from an Interheart risk score. It gives diabetes, hypertension, your lifestyle questions, and it gives you a predictive rate of what is the chance of you getting a heart disease. So you need to screen people. Next slide, please. Evidence-based screening is most important. Next. This is what we have on the website. Next. So in short, summarizing what I have said, that heart disease is no longer a disease of the elderly. Young people are also getting heart disease, And when it gets in young people, it is more severe. So we have to start early, especially from the school age or whatever stage of life we are, to take lifestyle modification and not to come to me. Thank you very much. If any questions, I will take. Time permitting, I can take few questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Agarwal. May I now request Balaji Reddy Garu to please come up on the stage and
have a question,
felicitate
one
Dr.
second.
Anand Agarwal.
Dr. Anand Agarwal, I have a question. I'm Sanjay here. Thank you very much for a beautiful wake-up session. And yes, I also wanted to point out that the discipline of living a life in a balanced form with the right story starts quite early in life. In fact, I am reminded of my 6th standard 70s.
So your voice is a bit low, sir. Can you just...
I am trying to, I think they have reduced the volume amplification. There was a problem right now. That's why it's come down. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the story is that mens sana in corpore sano, which you as a doctor will also realize is from Latin of a good body and a good mind, that they go together. Good health is a part of the entire story. I just wanted to check with you, does a small pain in the arm also indicate a possible indication towards a cardiac problem that could happen? The pain that could happen because of arm movement, is that also an indicator?
No, sir. The cardiac pain is basically a pain which shoots. Classical angina is the pain in the precordium which shoots down the arm, but it need not be any pain in the arm. With or without activity can be cardiac. So if it is happening regularly, it can be muscular pain. Most of the time it is. But it is always better to get it checked up. That's what I say.
Okay. Prevention is better than cure.
Yeah. Actually, we need to look at more AI-based solutions for, identification of young coronary artery disease.
Thank you so much, sir. And that was really very educative. Can I request the team to please get the memento? So maybe both of you, if you can go to the center of the stage, please.
Don't you think this was a very good insight information? Because recently, I'll tell you one example, doctor, my brother, 3 days back, just because of the stress levels, he had a mild attack. And most of my friends who were at the age of 27 dropped down with the heart attack. So we need to be careful. And let me tell you, our body is the most precious thing what we have given, a gift from the God, and let's take care of it. And let's love ourselves. Thank you so much.